It makes me feel in control. This place that you see around you was formed in a fit of artistic inspiration. And there are many at court who have taken inspiration themselves from me. Trindia, come up here. Yes, she is a patron of the arts, aren't you? Come. And you see this woman come up, doesn't skip a beat the minute that her name is called. She comes up and she does this deep, deep curtsy. My queen, of course, we are all at court inspired by your brilliance and your elegance and your artistic sensibilities. We can only hope to mimic, in small part, what you can accomplish with a simple exertion of your will. Fey Queen smiles. She likes that. But, my queen, if I may, there are some things that you may find new and refreshing. And I have been scouting, yes? Scouting far and wide in seeking of new talent from foreign lands. Perhaps I could interest you in something? Queen looks at her. Is it music? He does use a musical instrument as part of his performance. I don't care about music anyway. I've already done music. Let's not do music. To India, why don't you go? Go. Get out of here. Go. Nothing quiet.
Well, you did music, so that's kind of what happens. It gets quiet.
Well, I don't fucking know. Someone do something. Anything.
We can collapse
is
one
this
of the pillars in here.
Oh,
Collapse the pillar.
it's an interesting idea. But why? What would that do?
Well, you said you wanted us to do something. You don't seem like the kind of person interested in my knock-knock jokes.
Well, anything is better than this. What is it? How does it work? A knock-knock.
No, I say knock-knock. You say who's there.
Oh.
This is going to be amazing.
This is going to get us killed.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Nothing. Your head's imagining it because you killed all the many.
That's hilarious, Ryland. Oh my gosh.
She stares at Ryland. Huh. That wasn't very good. I'm sorry, that wasn't good.
It wasn't my finest work, I know. But
Why can't
usually,
any of...
You know, the parties we're invited to aren't usually this stale.
Yes, well, maybe it would help a little bit if somebody else around here came up with a good idea for what to do for fun. Everyone's always looking to me to make things fun, but sometimes I get tired of making sure that everyone is enjoying themselves. Maybe you all should just go. Just fucking go. For once. Just leave me alone. Everyone get the fuck out of here. Get out.
I'm gonna look around and shrug and just walk out with everybody else.
I guess we are leaving.
And this is when we just leave totally and make Anthony do a whole different plot line in a different section of the world.
Like, where next, guys?
You know what we can probably do, and she's saying this to Ryland and the rest of the party. We can probably see if we can get some horses or something and go horse racing, or perhaps we are back in my country. I mean, perhaps there are good horses around.
I raise horses, says this man. That's actually a thing that I do. I am a master of horse breeding. What do you have to... you are interested in horse racing? Wait! Says the queen, who's standing over at this end of the hall as the other nobles have all started to, like, shift away. Don't talk to him! I don't want you talking to him anymore. Come back here.
She points to herself and her friends.
Yes, you. Yes, come back. Everyone's gone fucking leaving. Leave me all alone in this place.
Yes, you want us to leave, you don't want us to leave. You.
I guess we're walking back.
Come back. Come back. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry I said those things. I did not actually want you all to leave. Sometimes I just, I mean, you are new here, so you don't know, but I'm surrounded by idiots and imbeciles and sycophants at all times. Everyone just saying, yes, yes, do whatever I do. I say huzzah, they say huzzah. I say applaud, they applaud. Disgusting.
It was becoming a bit of a echo chamber, my queen.
I'm sorry if I sound blunt, but you seem like a petulant, spoiled child, like every rich, noble kid I've ever met. Surely, with your power, with your grandeur, you could find stimulation in something in this world, rather than submitting us all to this mere jester and peasantry.
I hear you. I hear you. And first of all, it's a good thing that I find your gruff and blunt nature charming, because otherwise you could be dead 10 different ways by now. But I have tried these things in the past. You have to understand, I have tried. I've been at this for centuries. People want good things. Yes, they want better lives. And I am powerful, and I am benevolent, so I try to provide. I do my best. But people, the things you try, they don't work out. I mean, look at Ustalavoy. Such a mess.
So, paint the ideal picture that you're trying to achieve. What would it look like?
My vision. Nobody ever asks me about my vision. Everybody wants to ask, oh, can you help with, I have the border dispute. Someone stole my pigs. I don't, please give me money. Give me land. Give me, nobody actually cares what I'm thinking about, So, I appreciate this question.
That's kind of part of running around. You gotta take care of your people.
Yes. Well, when you are everywhere at once, it's so hard to find time for yourself.
No, not really.
No, not really.
I'm here right now.
Yes.
A pretty singular problem, honestly.
No, I understand. When you are in charge of so many, there are so many more responsibilities that you must take care of, and you're busy, you're having fun, but at the end of the day, some of the things that you wanted to accomplish for yourself slip away.
They slip away.
Days become weeks, months become years become decades, and decades become centuries.
Yes, it goes on and on. Yes, I'm glad somebody here gets this.
Do you ever wish you could escape?
escape? I don't know about that. I mean, leave behind everything I've done? And what would these people do without me? Huh?
Well, probably they would tend to their fields. They would go into the woods, catch game.
No,
Probably
no.
fix up their houses.
No.
Go to the market.
They rip each other apart, honestly.
Probably.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
And would take over.
Look,
Maybe
look.
okay.
Look at these people. They call themselves the many. Look at these people. They are what would happen without me. They're the ones who don't want me. What do you think would happen if these many were put in charge?
Rejoicement,
They
maybe?
or for them. But look at the terrible things they're doing. They are rampaging around, ransacking towns, killing people, kidnapping people on the roads, attacking travelers. They want chaos. They want bedlam. They want to thrive on the carnage that they wreak and leave nothing but desolation in their wake.
Just
Look at me.
because they feel like they're trapped.
Not
Maybe
because
if they had one, then they would be just able to govern themselves. And then you could do whatever it was you wanted to do with no one holding you back.
I would like to jump off that idea.
I'm listening.
I feel that you're a sculptor, as you said. I myself love to paint, and sometimes we have something in front of us that we work on for a long, long time. We keep on wanting to change minor things, and we never feel like it will be quite done. Yet we can't muster the energy to complete it, so to say. Maybe what you need to do is pursue other interests. I see this, a few outcomes that could happen. You could either leave them to their own ways, and they're going to spiral down, and they're going to fall out. And if you came back and you had to rescue your nation again, it might make the people realize everything that you do for them, make them realize that underneath you, it was better. And if it was better, and if they can run their own thing, maybe it's time for you to start over and start a new project somewhere else. And be able to work. And then you could start through the whole creation process with a new slate or a new canvas. I think you just need something new.
My queen, my family has served you for at least 3 generations now. My grandfather, Radovan, he died in your service.
Oh, you're Radovan's girl.
His granddaughter, yes.
Oh, granddaughter. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get, the generations. They all, kind of blob together. But no, you go. Yes, please. Oh, yes, Radovan.
Yes, and my family owes everything to you, and that came from our service to you. But if you feel like you are trapped, I believe just the memory, the idea of you, you are our mother of our motherland. To a certain point, even the mother needs to take a rest. Yes.
Or kick the bird out of the nest.
Saffine, I'd like you to give me a persuasion roll, and I'd like you to have advantage from Cat. And Nimue, for that matter. Nimue was plant ideas in her head before. Ooh. It's a natural 20.
Ooh. Heck yes!
For a total of 33.
That was such a good argument, too.
Not even a bad second half there, too.
Ooh.
This is why I need to get an outside perspective sometimes. None of these people around here will tell me these things. But you lot are saying things to me that nobody else will say. I appreciate that. I like that. And I think you have some very, very interesting ideas. I mean, people don't appreciate me. You're right. Why should I be? wasting so much of my time, my energy, my soul, trying to make them happy for something that is not making them happy. Much better that I forget that part, at least for a little bit. Don't give that part of myself to them. Keep that part for me. And when they all don't have their Fey Queen anymore, when they don't have the mother of their motherland, and when the Manny comes along and they destroy everything, leave it in ruins, then they'll remember how much they love me. It's genius. It's so simple. And the best part is, I don't even have to do anything.
And for somebody like you, even years or a decade would be nothing much. But for simple humans, well, that mortal lifespan will let many things unwind and bemoan how good it was back in the yesteryears or the time of their fathers.
I like the way you think. What is your name again?
Saffine,
Saffine. I like that name.
it's a older name.
Well,
And
it feels fresh to me.
I went through something very similar. Felt myself languishing, doing the same thing over and over, remembering fun times in the past and trying to cling on to them. And a new opportunity arose, and I think this has been the first time I've stepped outside of my own city for, well, at least 100 years. And it's been glorious. I've had countless crazy things happen, from interdimensional frog people to magical storms and portals opening up, and being able to work with people and be alongside people who have differing ideas on my own. It's been a fresh perspective of what I would want to accomplish if I went back. I'm not saying that you have to do what I did, but it was freeing.
You're talking about a sort of, like a sojourn, a pilgrimage.
Sabbatical.
A sabbatical.
Pilgrimage.
Well, it is a wonderful notion, but I'm not big on traveling outside of the realm. I mean, I suppose I could take a tour of the realm. You know, I've walked every ancient mile of this land over the years, but sometimes it would be good for a refresher.
How long has it been since you've just been able to take your time and go to the farthest reaches?
I can't even remember. Have you ever seen the Worlds? They are far, far north. Not many people go there. Deep freezing cold. Tremendously difficult to reach, but a place where the magic, the winds themselves, they sculpt the land. It's like nothing I've ever seen. They push the land and the water and the air and the trees and the plants and the animals. The winds push them all and change them and leave them in forms. I can only capture a fragment of the things that I have seen there. But it would be nice to return there one more time. I have to thank you. I have to thank all of you. You all have really given me a reset that I needed. Yes, in my head, I needed this. And I do have to say that I am famished. Are any of you hungry? Would you care to eat with me? Let's get out of here. Let's fuck this palace. Fuck this throne room. Let's find somewhere a little more homey. Come, follow
I
me.
agree. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to my private chambers.
Oh, wow.
Ayo.
Yes. Much more comfortable here, yes? I think you find that it is, we don't need all of that grandeur and elegance and whatnot. Just nice, simple.
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 This is beautiful for simple.
I'm going to have food brought up now. She waves in some general direction. She doesn't even seem to see who she's waving to. She just raises a hand, but some servant comes rushing out from behind a pillar where they were hiding. And she says, "Food, now! I'm hungry." And they run off.
This is certainly not how I expected all this to go.
I know.
About all of you.
I'm curious, what were you expecting? I mean, your grandfather, yes, that's true. Your grandfather was very loyal, very dedicated man, and yet I've never seen you at my court.
Yes, I I was my father, Borislav, he died when I was quite young, and he left me the heir to the Melnikov family, but I decided to take a sojourn of my own. I went and I established a mercenary company outside of the realm. But my brother, he is now the heir in waiting to the Melnikov family. But yes, in terms of how I expected this to go, I suppose I didn't expect you to take care of the threat to your realm with so swiftly strike and so quickly.
It is not hard when the Leska presents itself. You simply stomp your heel down.
Fair enough. I know my grandfather took care of many threats to you, but my father, we kept away a little bit, just to attend to our own lands for quite a while. But yes, I believe we Melnikovs like the more rustic life, perhaps.
Yes, it is one thing to surround yourself with finery and beauty and civilization, but there's something to be said for the raw power of this land. Something that the people here don't get. And I try. I bring in people from all over the place. I say, look, meet this wild man from this savage country. Bring a little bit of that into the court. What happens? They forget. They forget their ways and they get all civilized, and then they're just another member of my court. It's useless.
Something to be said for people being changed by the people they are around, yes? The unique things that they bring to the table are washed away in the tide of normalcy.
I think what he's saying is, if you don't like sycophants, stop breeding them.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, when you have the power to give people everything that they want, and you do because you're a good person, people have a tendency to just fall in line around you.
I'm very curious to ask you something. Go ahead, Saffine.
I myself had a little bit of that. But maybe what you can do is this is something that I want to do, and I'm going to share my ideas, and maybe you might be able to jump off it and find a grander way to present it, so to say.
Okay, I like
In
this. I like this back
rather,
and forth.
rather than
going.
rather than bringing people into your court and letting them change, maybe you can anonymously, or not anonymously, find people to be a benefactor for or a patron for within there. Slip into a different face, slip into a different community, and find somebody worthy of your grace and see what they can do to create within their own community so they wouldn't be brought into this court and be changed into yet another one. They themselves would be a leader within their small community, you knowing that you were the one who sculpted the change the entire time. And you would get to watch, knowing that they're doing what they want to do rather than thinking about what you want them to do.
Smart. 'Cause then they would have fresh ideas. They wouldn't be brainwashed by what everybody else is doing and going along with them.
Yet it's still sculpting in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I can offer patronage, I suppose. It is something I have tried in the past. I have sometimes walked my own lands and maybe not worn my face when I've done so. But, well, that affects people in other ways.
So you can choose to show your original face.
Nimue, I don't think that would be a very good idea.
Well, not right now.
A servant comes into the room, and following him is a trolley of food carts, and they set up a table right here in the middle and bring in chairs. They come whisking in with all of the implements for fine dining in a matter of seconds as this man does a deep bow and with a flick of a white-gloved hand, servants lift cloches, silvered cloches off of silvered plates on the table and reveal roast squab, my queen, with roasted carrots, grilled pears, a carrot mustard puree, pumpernickel pistachio crumble, and a grabiche sauce. And then he backs away, and as he does, all the servants retreat with him. I do have to say, the one thing that I love about this place is the food. You should all eat. Come, join me. It's so simple. You just pick up the food, you put it in your mouth, and you enjoy the way that it tastes and the way that it feels. And you don't have to think about anything else. And she starts to chew. This is fantastic squab. You have to try some. Have you ever had squab like this?
No. This is a new experience for myself.
Well, do partake, I beg you. Oh, this is a fucking revelation. What did you say this was? Grabiche sauce? What is that? I don't even know. Delicious. Oh, it's
Have
like,
you ever? Have you ever traveled outside of the realm?
no, not exactly. That's not how it works.
I was about to say you could try all sorts of exotic things, all sorts of foods.
That's why the society is there. Yes, they procure their exotic goods and ideas. The ones who bring food do have a tendency to get it right. I appreciate that, but I cannot leave my realm so easily. Yes, where I go, the realm has a tendency to follow. So it's tricky sometimes, yes, to get outside of your bubble, as they say.
The bubble would follow you. That's just very interesting to me. Like, if you appeared in the Empire of the Four Winds, then would all of the realm come around you?
That's not exactly it, but it's difficult to explain. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a good job. I suppose that if I really tried, if I really wanted to, I could get out and about. It is hard to go where I am not already.
Does that mean you're confined to the borders you already have?
Well, no. Eventually. Not, I don't think. But, for now, in time, I'm sure that I will be able to travel other places as well. But the realm is my home, and I am the realm, so...
The real question is, though, why did we have to come so far by carriage? Why don't you put one of those transportation circles a little closer?
See, that is where things get a little tricky, because those teleportation circles, that magic is... it is as much harm as good, is it not? Sometimes I think perhaps more harm than good. But it's safer this way, yes? To not have so much magic floating about, getting into people's hands, you know? They do bad things with it.
You raised this palace from the earth, and then talk about how magic is harmful?
Well, I didn't say magic was harmful. I said magic is harmful in the wrong people's hands.
You know, for someone who is excuse me, I don't know you very well. So this is just, my outside purview of someone who's not from the realm. But for someone who puts on a front for longevity of life and being so strong, you sure are afraid of the smallest things.
I'm not afraid.
Then put a teleportation circle closer. Give the
I'm not
citizens weapons to fight the many.
I'm not afraid,
to
but
empower your people.
I have seen what happens when people get their minds around things and they start thinking that they can do things for themselves. It gets messy. And I don't like messy. This is better sometimes. It gets to me sometimes. You saw me at my worst before, but it is better sometimes that
you complain
that
about
I
your
make
people
sure.
having to rely on you, yet you create their need to rely on you.
Yeah, but
you're creating your own problems here.
no, it might seem that way to someone who has not seen it, but I've been here all along. I've seen what happens when you let people get a little too much of themselves, and then they start to do things on their own, and they inevitably it all ends in violence in the end.
And
Much better to minimize
what's the point
that.
of having a people who can't do what they want?
No,
That ends up leading to very boring parties.
No, I don't. Pardon me. Elprekt, wine?
Has something happened before, though? Like an uprising maybe that was worse than this, or something that happened with magic.
The magic uprisings. I don't want to talk about these. I don't want to talk about the many. We've already talked about the many. And she just begins coughing and choking.
Say, should we worry about this in game?
And right. you can see her face beginning to turn red as she's coughing.
Kat rushes up from her seat and goes to the Fey Queen's side.
Yeah. She's coughing and choking pretty hard, you can see that her face has gone bright red, and the veins are like sticking out on the sides of her neck.
Oh shit!
Who knows the Heimlich?
Being out there.
Yeah,
Ryland, Heimlich.
You're running.
Ryland, yeah.
Poison! It's
Poison.
Poison!
Well, that is mighty unfortunate.
Because you didn't prepare that today, right?
If you
Cat,
eat the swab, did you eat the swab?
Prepared?
Yeah.
I think
You should
the
probably
cat
save
might
her,
have-
right?
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
think
for
Cat is gonna try and perform the Heimlich.
You want to give me a medicine check?
Sure, I'm not okay. I'm not good with medicine. Because people want to help me out.
the cleric is like, die.
Oh no!
I'm not technically killing her in this instance.
You're like trying to help her as best you can. You're like grabbing her, you're kind of pulling her out of her chair, and she's coughing and hacking. And you can see that her face is going from like red to purple, and you're trying to like heave on her stomach or her chest, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But she kind of, at a certain point, she like reaches back frantically, sort of flailing at Cat, like, get off me. And she collapses back against the table, and she says, fucking kill her. Find him. I'll be fine. I'll be right back. Get another face. Fuck.
Man,
And-
would you like assistance?
I think
Suddenly, you see the woman in front of you seem to change entirely. She doesn't physically change in terms of appearance, but something about her composure, the way she holds herself, something about the wild, panicked look in her eyes that the queen didn't have even as she was choking. It feels like you're suddenly in the room with someone entirely different. And she is just hacking and coughing and looking like she's about to expire.
I think at this point, Cat would just ignore the person who used to be the Fey Queen and go after the butler.
Ryland, I hate to say this, but I fear if something happened to her, we would be the first suspects. Might be a good idea to intervene.
Be in good favor.
She's gone unconscious. She's draped over
shoot.
the table.
Right?
Come on.
Cat's
Cut
going
that.
after this
Come
butler.
on, Ryland.
Come
on, Ryland.
Once she goes
WWE.
kind of just like slumps off the table and hits the floor. And I'll just kind of like walk over and be like, maybe it'll help.
She may already be dead.
What would Eldath do?
Right.
Great oppressed people.
I'm going to. Can Seven try at this moment to summon a teleportation portal?
Summon a teleportation portal.
Yep. I want to cast the carved spatial sigils thingy.
So you're making a summoning circle, but it's
Yep.
a temporary one, right?
Yep. Gonna pull her unconscious form right through it and see what happens. That's Seven's plan anyway.
Oh, you're just getting rid of the evidence. All right.
I'm testing her claim that the realm moves with her.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You grab hold of the woman who Ryland has just cast Lesser Restoration on. You can see that almost immediately she begins to breathe more easily, and that dangerous purple shade to her features is returning to a slightly more normal hue.
All right. I'm gonna cancel it. I hope she was still unconscious. If she's
Oh.
gaining consciousness, then I'm not.
Well, I mean, she's the woman. She's still unconscious. She's just not choking to death.
Hmm.
But you can send her through the portal if you want.
Yeah. Why not? I love video. I love
Do
D&D.
it.
Let's
Yeah.
and be like,
You-
who's coming? And just jump on through. And I've opened a portal to. Oh gosh, I don't know. Where?
Oh, how about your university or the library
let's do
place?
that.
the
Let's go back.
Athenium. Are you
No.
going with her?
No, I've opened a portal to
We're-
the capital of the Empire of the Four Winds,
Oh,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna throw her through.
Write a note. Leave a note on her.
Do you come with her, or are you just
No.
sending her through?
No, I'm just chucking her through.
Okay. Let me just double check. Can you send an unconscious creature through like that? It's literally just anything that's in the
Any
in
creature
the
that enters
space.
the portal.
Any creature that enters the portal. It doesn't have to be like a willing
chuck her
creature
through.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, you just chuck her through. You chuck the unconscious woman through the portal, and
how did we get to this?
disappears.
You know, Seven, I thought I was making leeway.
I know. I had a lot of hope.
Cat
Cat has already
Said you were-
sprinted out of the room.
running after. Where are you sprinting to?
She is like football tackling whoever that butler dude.
Why don't you give me an athletics check?
Hell yeah, I can.
$18. All right. Let's see.
Nimue, 2 suggestions. Let's get ready to fight. Grab any nice silverware on the way out.
I can do that.
We don't need to fight. We just saved her life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you see this guy like sprinting down the hall, his coattails flying behind him as he's going and you just come running up behind him full speed and shoulder tackle him to the ground. He falls to the ground. Listen to me. Fucking me. I didn't fucking do anything.
Oh, don't you fucking bleed at me. Where? Who prepared the food?
What the fucking the chef prepared the food? Of
Oh,
course.
really? Oh, okay. How about the special ingredient? And she's gonna punch him in the face.
Oh my jaw! Oh,
You know, the one that, killed the Fey Queen. At least one of her faces, whatever. But anyway, I'm going to, you know what? Stop blubbering. And then she's going to punch him in the face.
no!
Nimue.
You didn't see anything.
I did, though.
Right?
I did.
Eldath will remember.
Eldath will get their 10%.
As you're out in this long hall with this guy, and you see like other people. There were servants and stuff around before. I mean, you've seen them as you're walking around, but they suddenly seem to be scarce as you like just catch sight of people disappearing into doorways and like scurrying out of sight as much as possible. But Kat, there is a woman who comes running up to you. She's wearing all black with little details of gold trim on her coat.
I know that. I've seen this anime before.
And she looks something like this.
Oh, check it out. It's Trinity from the Matrix.
It does kind of look like Trinity, doesn't it? It didn't occur to me until just now. Until you said it. Until you just said it.
And as she's rushing up, Kat's gonna call out, "Someone just poisoned the fucking Fey Queen!"
She stops, looks down at you, and just says, and she runs out of there, and she disappears Hat, what are you doing with this blubbering guy who you just punched twice?
Was he still blubbering? Cat punches him in the face again. Okay, you get shut up. And she's just gonna haul him to his feet, kind of like armbar, like has his arms behind his back. It's like, okay, well, I guess we are going to where are we going? And she turns around. She's, where are my friends? Where is everyone? Are you all stealing silverware? No, you better not be stealing anything.
気にしないでよ.
I guess she's gonna walk back in the room and see all this chaos happening.
They're just loot ransacking the place for all.
I'm preparing to counteract any charms that might be triggered in this place.
You're
Ask him how we locked down the castle.
what?
We've got to prevent the suspects from escaping.
Oh yes, yes. Well, I just saw a mortal hand, and I just said that poison, and then I think she ran off and did something. I don't know. Hey, how do we lock down the castle?
Why do we want to lock down the castle?
I would actually like to. I would like to talk to our late friend. Actually, now that there's a chance.
Your late friend?
Yeah, the guy she murdered.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you don't know where his body is, but they dragged him out of the throne room.
We could try and find him.
Do you want to go try and track him down, Saffine?
I think we have bigger problems right now, guys.
But we should definitely sometime.
Yeah. I was planning if they string him up as the front of the castle as they said they were going to. I was definitely gonna try talking to them then.
Okay.
What
Fair enough.
problems are we having?
Oh, just the problem of everyone in this realm assuming we murdered the Fey Queen. You know, a minor fucking issue of facing a huge undulating crowd of people who want to take our heads.
Yes, that would be very
Why do we have that problem again? Oh, that's right. We threw the Fey Queen through a portal.
Well, if the Fey Queen, is actually disposed of, what is anyone gonna do without being told what to do here?
They would fucking kill each other. You saw those sycophants in there?
They would kill us first.
Oh, yes. They would definitely kill us first.
As the group of you are debating what to do next.
Is everyone together right now?
I'm assuming so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not running off.
If the guy is there, Cat's just gonna randomly punch him in the face again.
Okay, if that's the case, wow. We're sitting there after the lesser restoration and whatnot. Once Cat comes back, I'm gonna start ritually casting Brewery's telepathic bond on us. Just in case anything happens and we need to talk.
All right.
That's a very good idea.
You cast telepathic bond on yourselves, and a moment later, Mrs. Trinity enters the room again, and you can see that she is at the ready. She's got kind of one hand on a blade, but it is still sheathed. And in the other hand, she looks like she's preparing magic. But she looks at the lot of you. She says, I don't know who you fucking people are. I don't know what you're doing here. I know the Fey Queen had guests, and you're telling me that she's dead. So, do please explain why you have the servant Elprekt in hand, and who you are, and what is happening here, and where is the Fey Queen's body if she is dead?
I'm Ryland.
Dead, poisoned. Poisoned, and her last words before we sent her to safety were to find the killer. That's what you should be doing.
Yes, and I believe there's something about finding new. Never mind. And she punches the guy in the face again.
He's just spouting blood at this
The
point.
queen,
Punched
the
him.
queen herself, right before she lost the ability to talk and began choking, was she believed the swab was poisoned and asked us if we tasted it.
Well, did you?
I think I might. I think Cat might have actually taken a bite.
Yeah, I definitely tried it, but
I didn't take a drink of anything.
Seven never eats when people offer him. So
yeah, Saffine
Wait, what?
don't care.
Squab is kind
Wait,
of
what?
strange.
Seven never eats what?
Anything people
Food
offer.
that wasn't prepared by himself.
no, not he's not that paranoid, but he never eats like when people offer to share food with him. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Okay. That's fine. This woman says, I've already alerted the guards. This wing of the palace is closed. That means that it is me and you and this man and whoever else the guards can get their hands on.
Is there no royal taster? How do you check for poison when the queen eats?
There is a royal
Unless-
taster. Well,
Unless
Not a
it was
taster.
added between the tasting and here.
Or the taster was the one that poisoned it.
Who all handled her food?
Drag his ass in here. We need.
I am the one who checks her food. That is why
You're
I
under
happen to
arrest.
be on hand.
You should probably start looking for new employment, preferably outside the realm.
I'm sorry. Let's hear these ladies speak for a little bit. Yes, and then Cat is gonna punch the guy in the face again.
This poor man.
Why are you doing that?
Is he blubbering still?
He stopped blubbering. His face is a bloody mess.
Okay, then she stopped. He was blubbering. He was annoying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get a little agitated when literally the goddess that I worshipped when I was a child is suddenly poisoned in front of my face. It's a little disturbing. Sorry. I'll just
Yes.
walk over here. Yes.
I imagine she's going to be very peeved about that.
Have you consumed anything recently? They might have poisoned you too.
What? No, I don't actually eat any of the food. I just use,
Ron's
detect
gonna get
poison.
closer to examine her.
I use magic. Yes, detect poison and disease. Check the food.
So, can you check the food that is left over right here?
Of course. She's going to approach the table where there's the remains of the food, and she's going to say, "It is going to take a minute. It's a ritual." And
Take your time. We're not pressed for time or anything.
she's going to carefully begin to inspect the food and get her magics going. As this is happening, the guards, palace guards, come rushing into the room, and they hurl a couple of other figures into the room, saying, "Wielder Zoyha, you asked us to bring anyone else suspicious. We have brought you."
She's concentrating.
I'm concentrating.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Wielder Zoyha. We have brought
Is-
the chef and also the scullery maid.
Not that.
Oh, thank you. And just a moment.
Saffine turns to everybody. Is this a dinner murder mystery?
Well,
Yes, it is.
for it to be a dinner murder mystery, there would have to be a body. And I don't see anyone dead in here.
Attempted murder. Attempted murder. Mr.
Attempted.
Mhm.
Yes,
Attempted murder mystery.
I ran out of the room while she was choking. What did happen to the body?
Well, it wasn't the body. She was still herself.
She was indisposed, and in that moment, for her safety, We sent her to a safe place, which will remain anonymous until we've resolved the issues that occurred this evening.
Oh well, that's okay then.
It goes along with what we were talking about, how she needed to step out and follow her own passions and dreams, so to say.
No, maybe before we accuse anybody of poisoning the person who is saying is now on sabbatical, but okay. What is going on? Who are these people?
Everyone needs to
Present
stop
your
talking
case.
and let the lady concentrate.
Still concentrating. You people, whoever you are, what are your names? And the you would really think I'd know that.
SlavicNameGenerator.com.
Shush.
I mean,
He's just getting all
Slavic
his names
Slavic name
generated.
generator. Just all Slavic names. Oh God, please. No, we're not doing that.
Oleksiana and Natasha.
This one is red ski.
We've got the cook, who is a rather rough around the edges looking half orc woman, still wearing an apron splattered with red sauce, probably. She's standing in the corner. She looks a little defiant, but once again, the mortal hand yells out, "Names now!" And so the chef says, "My name's Ohla." Oh no, wait! It's Glasha. Glasha. There we go.
Glasha, yes.
Glasha.
Glasha. I guess she's confused because my name is Ohla. Not the way you're thinking it's spelled. Oh, can you see it? No, you can't. There we go.
Okay. And what are your occupations?
I am just a scullery maid. I clean all all of the floors, and I clean the windows, and I clean the wall, and I polish all of the furniture, and I polish and clean the silver and the plates and platters and dishes, and that's why they brought her, says Zoya, because she cleans the food stuff. I'm sorry, I'm still concentrating. Can't think very clearly on words.
Glasha, what time did you finish preparing tonight's meal for the queen?
About, I don't know, 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes. And was it all finished at the same time, or was some of it prepared earlier in the day?
Well, I prepared several courses earlier, but the queen was not hungry at that time, so I did not serve that food. But this course that I prepared was about 20 minutes ago finished.
Were you the only person working in the kitchens, or did you have assistants? And if so, where are they?
No, I am I was the chef on duty tonight for the queen's meal. My assistants were already gone for the night. I remained to make sure that everything was prepared, should she request food.
And when you finish the meal, who do you hand it to? Who prepares it for service?
I prepare all of the dishes, and I plate them myself to ensure the greatest of quality for the queen. And then I imagine her servant, him, she points to the bloody-faced man. He is the one who took the food from me, brought it up here.
I want you to go back to the kitchen under escort and grab a sample of every ingredient separate ingredient you used in preparing tonight's dish, and bring all those samples back here to be tested individually so we can determine the source of this poison.
Shall two of us go with to make sure things are followed?
Yes, under escort, of course.
Yes, we'll be part of that escort.
Okay. Give me one moment here.
Let me think too. The Fey Queen mentioned the squab when she was choking, but she also mentioned the garnis, the other thing too. Yes,
Oh, the grubish.
the grubish. Yes, okay.
It's a sort of sauce made from hard-boiled egg whites.
Aye. Okay. And the Fey Queen, she got very red in the face and started choking, coughing at first, and it took a while for this whatever kind of poison to happen. Yes, and as we saw with the, well, I guess I wouldn't have seen it, but as we saw, it was definitely some kind of poison because Ryland's lesser restoration had cleared it.
I'm Ryland.
It is Ryland. He follows Eldeath. Very, very nice man.
All right.
Well, if Zoyha is responsible for checking the food, then at some point between Glasha handing the food to Elprekt and then Elprekt serving it to the queen, Zoyha must have seen the food, yes?
Yes, of course. I checked it before it came into the room. It stationed just at the far end of the hall, and Elprekt presented it to me. I did check the food, and it was all clean, of course.
The food
Ryland.
was.
Well, yes.
Did you check the silverware?
I mean, I looked at the entire plate of all the service trays, of course. I did not find anything, or I would have said something.
The trays. I feel like we're missing something.
Ryland, do you know of any sort of poison that could have this effect that is undetectable by magic?
Can I do a medicine check or something for that?
Yeah, you can do a medicine check. You don't know of any poisons that just naturally bypass magic that is intended to detect them. I mean, perhaps if they were being obscured or hidden by magic, that would be a possibility. But you're not aware of anything that just does that on its own.
Nope, don't think so.
Ohla.
Seven's gonna cast detect magic and go look very carefully over the food and the plates and see if there's some kind of aura that suggests there's tomfoolery going on.
You begin to search with detect magic. Yeah, and around that time, Zoyha also has finished with her casting of detect poison disease, and she says, there's something here. It wasn't here, I swear. It wasn't here when it came through. Yes, that is a certain kind of poison. It affects the throat, yes? It causes it to squeeze tight, shut. It's called, what is it called? I remember this from my training. Chokehold. Yes, that's the common name for it, obviously. But chokehold, because, well, it does precisely this.
Very good, Zoyha. And one more question, if you don't mind. What does the queen do to someone who is derelict in their duty, complete incompetence?
She looks a little pale And she says, I know what she does.
Well, the good news is she's not here to do that. Well, I don't know if Nimue and are already left. I don't want to jump into the conversation if I'm not physically in the room. Or if even Nimue agreed to leave.
I'll come with you.
Is it the two of you were escorting the orc back to the kitchen?
Yeah.
Glasha?
Because if it happened that, like, I don't want to
Yeah.
jump into the conversation.
That's fine.
And continue with that conversation. Don't jump to it.
If you are telling the truth, I do not think you need to fear that retribution, I think.
Precisely. Then, can I assume we've got your complete assistance in determining the truth in this matter?
Yes, of course. I want to find whoever is responsible as much as you do, if not more.
All right. Do I, after casting detect magic, see any traces of, I don't know. There's like second level spells that can like hide magical auras and stuff. I don't know if I would be able to discern any of that though.
You are looking for magic, and you don't see any. Your detect magic is not picking anything up off of the food or the trays or anything like that.
So it is not magic.
Does the queen have any food allergies?
What? What is this word?
You know, things that, you eat. Sometimes it's, a nut out of a tree.
I mean,
A thing with the shell on its back in the water. Makes your throat close up after you eat it.
there are... the Fey Queen does not have allergies.
But do her faces?
But I
Pollen season
suppose
is bad here.
I do suppose that some of her faces could suffer from these sort of mortal afflictions.
Ryland, we already found the poison.
Yes, I don't know why you're asking this. We know what it is. This chokehold, like I said, it is a fine powder. If I remember correctly, it is tasteless and colorless when dissolved, so it could easily be hidden in the food or drink, for that matter.
These faces you mentioned, how aware is the public of the nature of the Fey Queen's faces?
Well, I mean, it is common knowledge that the queen chooses her faces publicly, and they are taken away to reside in the ice palace and be trained.
Then can we assume that this was a symbolic gesture? The attempted murderers had to know they're not actually harming the Fey Queen.
Yes,
All they're doing is making a show.
I imagine that it is a demonstration, yes.
And if it is a demonstration, rather than a power grab, which parties would stand to gain from such a demonstration?
The Fey Queen, she does have her detractors and those who we are guarding her against. Of course, I'm sure you have heard of the many sort of brigand uprising that is happening out in the countryside. But I suppose there are others. Of course, there's well, we have kind of looks at Seven, like not entirely sure if she can trust him, but
Oh, sure, don't trust me. We're only the people working hard to save you from the guillotine.
Fine, you're right. We have been keeping tabs on Gravisgard and certain elements in Ustalavoy, as well as, of course, Lemadnum, for some time now.
Did any of them have access to the palace tonight?
To the palace? Well,
Could any of them have poisoned the food?
do you see any undead or elves wandering around the palace? I don't think so.
That's a good question. I'll begin my search immediately.
Well, wait.
Seven's gonna storm off, keeping detect magic active, and he's gonna start looking for elves. Undead.
You want to give me a perception check as you do this?
Oh sure.
7, Zajic, where are you going?
He's very straightforward with these sorts of things.
He knows how to investigate. You're questioning him as an investigator? This is what he does. 7, on your way out of the room, you notice that Ohla, the scullery maid, has that sort of kerchief thing pulled down awful tight around her ears, and you can see that they're bulging slightly at the sides.
7 walks past her nonchalantly, and then once he's behind her back, he says, "Aha!" and he pulls off her hat.
And sure enough, she has slightly pointed ears, most likely a half elf.
You were saying, Zoyha?
What? What? Why should I? I didn't know she was half elf. You're supposed to report these things when you enter into service here. What do you? This is clearly a deception. I mean, I can't check every single maid who comes by.
Well, Ohla, what do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know anything about what's going on here. I just do what they tell me. I polish this, I polish that. There's a lot of metal in this place. It takes a long time to polish everything.
Don't make me punch you in the face.
Why would you do that? I'm not even resisting or anything.
Surely you must have a poor aging mother at home, maybe a sister with some sort of severe disability who needs money for their treatment. You were seduced all too easily into the service of those looking to poison the Fey Queen's face. Admit it, Ohla. Don't make us dig any deeper. We'll have to drag your family into this.
Can I take insight checks from everyone?
Sure. All right.
I mean, I don't know who else is present. Oh, Cat and.
Oh, well, from those who are present, I should say. Yeah, Cat. I guess that's it. Well, I don't know.
Ryland should still be here too.
We lost Kevin for a second.
Yeah.
But he can make it. 7. You can see that she looks absolutely bewildered by these assertions. But you notice out of the corner of your eye that the bloody-faced servant like winces a little bit and kind of.
Oh, is it because I was threatening to punch you in the face?
You
I'm
just
sorry.
noticed what you notice.
I'm sorry, Elprekt. That was a very noticeable wince. Is that your bloody nose causing you pain, or did I touch it?
My face has been all beat up and I cannot even talk properly through my nose anymore.
Oh,
How long have you been in love with Ohla and hiding the fact that you're working with her secretly behind the scenes?
No,
This is amazing.
that's not right at all.
Cat's head is just whipping around. She can't keep up.
Healing magic, please. Doesn't anyone have healing magic here? Just fix my fucking nose, please.
Zoyha, how much did they pay you to keep silent?
What What is going
I
on?
love Seven so much.
Wait, hold on. Before we
You
throw all
wanna-
the accusations out.
Seven, you want to give me another insight check? You you see that Zoya reacts with surprise when you hurl that at her, and then actually looks a little indignant, but quickly sort of shakes her head and says, "You're being ridiculous. You get stop. Do it like the woman says. Stop throwing these useless accusations around, and help us figure out what's happening here."
So, okay, before we start throwing accusations out, let us think about how I'm sorry, I can't handle this. How did the poison? Zoya, if we are to believe you, the poison was not on the food, on the tray. And if Glasha, we are to believe you, there is no poison in the ingredients. And the people going to, oh wait, she's not here. The people going to the kitchen were to see that, and that would confirm that. So okay, Elprekt, honestly, I don't understand the fucking word you're saying, but it doesn't explain how.
I swear I did have nothing to do with it.
Okay,
I need this job, you know? I need this job
So-
that is all.
Zoya, you said you looked at the food and the tray, yes?
It does, like I do every time. Whenever there is food, whenever I am on duty, this is what I do.
With the little thing on top, or without?
Yeah, no, under the cloche, yes. I'm not a fool. It's called a cloche, by the way.
A cloche, yes, and Seven. Cat is gonna look at you, Seven, with a raised eyebrow.
Yeah, it's called a cloche.
Well, what if it is what's not on the food, and not on the tray, and not on the silverware? Maybe it's on the cloche.
That is not. But it's not. It's not eating the cloche. It doesn't make them. I don't.
Well,
It's a stretch. It's a stretch. I have to say. I don't know what you're getting at here.
I don't know.
What other ways can this chokehold poison be administered rather than through food? Is it possible it was somehow else slipped to the Fey Queen?
It does have to be ingested. It is not effective by other means. But it must be exposed to the inside of the throat, yes?
What else has been in the Fey Queen's throat?
I'm sure that I don't know that it is the Fey Queen's business.
How convenient for you that she's not here to answer.
Seven, before we throw out even more accusations, I'm still on this cloche idea. Maybe there was stuff on the cloche, and then when you put it on, after you look at it, the powder it falls down.
You see him considering your. You can tell that Seven is just totally engrossed in this. Like he's given himself over completely. Like he's living in the moment. There's nothing.
He's living his best life.
Like whatever you're saying, like he's taking it so seriously. His eyebrows are scrunched up. He's like pondering.
Zaechik, as adorable as it is that you are super into this, maybe we should find out where the poison came from.
How about while the two of you are interrogating and investigating, we
One of us is doing
follow Nimue, Glasha, and Saffine down to the kitchens. You escort her. There's a couple of guards who are like stationed in the hall now, and they won't prevent you from going down to the kitchen if you explain what you're doing, but they do follow. Just keeping an eye on things, and you make your way out past these grandiose halls, through a very humble looking door, a hidden door. Not exactly like secret, like it's super disguised, but it is clearly trying to blend in. And as you pass through that, you suddenly find yourself in this labyrinthine network of tunnels. You can see that there are a lot of commoner folk in there who are sort of hiding. You get the sense like they heard something bad happened and they're now just sheltering in here. You even notice like a couple of guards, people in guard uniform, are in here too. But they all sort of scurry out of the way as they see you coming, and eventually you descend a couple of flights of stairs until you reach the kitchen, which you're a little disoriented in this massive palace, but you imagine it must be on some lower level, and judging by the open windows letting in cold winter nighttime air, you must be on the exterior face of the palace. The kitchen is massive, but also you can see quite quiet at the moment. Glasha says, "Like I said, I had already sent the other servants home for the evening. I figured I could handle any remaining service the queen might have of me. There are other cooks for the other guests in the castle, but I am the Fey Queen's favorite chef, and so I handle her dinners personally."
Well, fantastic. Then you knew every ingredient that you put in. So, simple request: if you could gather a sampling, and we can put it on some trays and bring it back. And
Of course, and she will go and she'll grab up.
but first, before you grab, look at your kit. Look at everything here. Does anything look out of place to you? Because this is your realm.
She's going to look around and kind of opens a few drawers, looks into some cabinets. As she's doing this, she's also pulling out some of her ingredients. And eventually she kind of goes through everything. She says, "Everything looks to be in place. Here is what I prepared for the queen: the squab, carrots, pears, mustard, the pumpernickel, and pistachio. It's hard to get a hold of around here, but it is imported from the south, special for her. And of course, hard-boiled eggs go into the gribiche sauce."
Did anything out of the ordinary happen at all? Even something small? Something that you might have offhandedly forgot about?
No, everything was as it always is.
You weren't distracted by anything. Like you didn't hear a noise, turn away from cooking at all, did you? Invisibility is a very easy thing to come by.
Now that you mention it, there was a moment when I heard a noise at the window, and I don't know if you noticed, but we're about 500 feet up from the ground, so I did not know what it could be. I did turn to look, but there was nothing there. Probably just a bird or something. But now that you mention it, I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of.
Nimue, shall we see if this window has been tampered or opened?
So let's look at the window. And while we're walking around, since we're toying with the idea of invisibility, Nimue will be trying to sense. Like sort of like with blind sense.
Sure, cool. Why don't you guys give me perception checks?
I'm gonna assist Nimue.
Or assist Nimue in a perception check.
Cool. Perception.
Very nice. Nimue, you head over to the window and you look around and you see that it is much as she described it. It's this big wide stone ledge, and it has glass panes that can be like tilted outward to allow plenty of fresh air to come into the kitchen when it gets hot and smoky. The windows are currently open, and if you kind of lean out, look around, looking for signs of tampering, looking for signs of something invisible, you can see that the wide sort of window ledge continues on the outside certain ways, and there's something sitting on the exterior ledge. It's like pushed all the way back so that it wouldn't be visible from inside of the kitchen, but it's just sitting there on this little stone ledge, like right on the precipice of tumbling to the ground.
Wow.
And it's a small, looks like a little packet, a satchel.
I'll definitely try and reach it. How far away is it?
It's out there a little ways. I might ask for an acrobatics check because, well, let me put it this way. With your normal human arms, you couldn't reach it.
You know? I was about to say, like, is it 15 feet away?
It may be within 15 feet. Or a ghost hand would do the trick. Saffine, you can summon a spectral hand to go drifting out along the exterior ledge and snatch up this little sachet.
Nice job, Saffine-chan.
No need to expend some of our better abilities or show our hands.
Mm-hmm. True.
You know, all 8 of them that you have.
See what we're working with.
Shall we open it Shall we open it now in presence of everybody?
Yeah, maybe we should go back to the others when we're done. This could be a big piece of evidence.
What is that? What have you found?
We don't know. So why don't you gather up all your ingredients as we said, and we'll walk back with you to the others.
Of course, yes. Let me just gather these things up. And she will assemble all of her ingredients together. And she will follow you back up to the main room.
And I'm going to keep what's it called? Carrying it with Mage Hand. I'm not going to touch it myself.
Okay.
I like to,
Just in case our great investigator has a way to find out who touched less.
I like to imagine that they're walking in as Seven is throwing out his accusation.
I was gonna say, I was really hoping Seven is in the middle of something as they come in.
Well, like Phoenix. So we could just come on back.
We found something, Becky. There may be something important. Maybe something left behind.
Excellent. This could be just a piece of evidence we've been waiting for.
We
I
didn't
love
touch it
Detective Seven.
in case you have ability to track who touched it last.
What is it?
Can you use your magic to open it?
I mean, I can
Yeah,
use the Mage Hand to probably open it.
do it with the ghost hand.
Yep.
All right. You use your ghost hand, and you open up the satchel, and it contains a fine, dark powder. Not black, but like a dark gray.
Is 7. Is that metallic?
The powder.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can try to cast read metal on it. See if I can get anything from it.
It is metal. In fact, 7. It's a particularly it's a particular kind of metal, one that is fairly commonplace, useful, used in a lot of applications. Lead.
Lead.
So the powder itself is what? It shaved lead?
It does seem to be a powder of lead, yeah. And Zoya kind of is looking over it. She's like, "That's not. I thought for sure that would be the chokehold, but that is not poison. That is not the chokehold. Is a light powder, and it dissolves. It doesn't look like that."
And lead poisoning would be something over time and would addle the brain. As you can see, our friend here probably had lead paint in his house and points to Ryland.
Unnecessarily rude, but
You can't assume that this lead was being used to poison the food. This may have had another purpose. Perhaps how the killer got access to the kitchen. Maybe some sort of tool.
I brought all of my ingredients like you asked, and Glasha will lay out everything on the table.
All right. Zoya, it's time for you to figure out which one of these was the tainted.
Oh, do you want
Source.
me to do the detect poison?
How many ingredients are there?
There is squab, carrots, pears, mustard, pistachio, pumpernickel, and gribiche. And
All right. Lay them out separately on the table.
Yeah.
Zoya, take a seat. You're going to be at this a while.
Does lead have any applications in, like, I don't know, like polishing things? Maybe.
I would take some sort of check about it.
I have a jeweler's tools proficiency. I don't know if that would.
Sure, I would give you that. I mean, there's not many times that jeweler's tools come up, so I'll give you this one.
I don't even know what to modify that with.
To know about like polished metal and finery and things like that. That's fine. I would also take like a nature check to know about lead, a history check to know about its applications, anything like that.
I guess I can. All right. I mean, fuck it. Why not?
I'll do a history check. Do I know what powdered or shaved lead might be used for? And roll a 1.
Lead's in nature.
Yeah, Ryland, you don't really know much about lead. You're more of a, plants and animals kind of guy, not a, underground mining minerals.
A dwarf.
Yeah. 7. Powdered lead may have some industrial applications. It may be used in making some alloys, but like nothing really obvious is springing to mind. As far as you know, cat lead is not used really in any form of polishing metal or anything like that. I mean, you can use any sort of very like fine grain like sand or something like that for polishing purposes, but not normally done with metal. You do know that lead is used a lot in like in other kinds of applications with jewelry, that it could be, it's easily shapeable. It has a low melting point, so it can be soldered and things like this. It's very useful for making little bits of like wire and things like that. But in powder form, it doesn't make much sense to you. It doesn't seem to have a practical application that you can think of here.
Well,
I really still want to
I
check the
haven't-
food covering thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Let's see. Magical uses, because what if Saffine's thinking about how they take control over all sorts of things, such as teeth, little objects. Imagine 10 flecks of lead in your throat being animated. So I'm thinking of ways that it could be abused magically, whether it's components of something or animate object or something like that.
I mean,
that could have been used.
Yeah, it could be used as a focus for animate object. Something like that would be incredibly deadly if it was ingested and then ordered to attack you from the inside. I don't like the implications of this for future in the campaign, but but you would, you're thinking, you're like, I mean, animate objects. You have to cast
Right.
it on an object, and then you have to like control the object. You certainly didn't
Yeah.
see anyone in the room like ordering the lead around. In fact, the only one who was
Only
really
1 minute.
with you was the waiter who brought in the food.
Mhm.
And it is a short-term thing. And you would think that little bits of metal flying around inside of a body would cause her to be choking up a lot of blood, but you didn't see anything
Right.
like that. Do you mention this to the others? This theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it was used to open up the window of some way.
I'll take insight checks from everyone. Now everyone's present, so everyone can give me one. Ryland and Ryland, Saffine, and Seven all catch Glasha reacting to Saffine's suggestion that the lead be somehow put into the food and ingested. She kind of anses slightly on her feet, and then tries to like turn away and go back to like the ingredients on the table, and keeps her back to you.
Vicious.
Everybody's a little stressed. Why don't we just take a few moments to relax, think this over, and think pair share, so to say. Any other ideas? I mean, we're obviously hitting dead end. I know with me, a little music voice jogs my memory, and I'm gonna start playing a light little tune. And I'm gonna wait for a minute to pass.
I would still like to look at the food covering, the cloches.
Of course. Yeah. Zoya's got her detect poison going on these ingredients. She'll also check the cloche. And she will say, I don't see any poison in any of these ingredients, and not even on your cloche. I can only imagine that means it was added after the fact. And she looks pointedly at Elprekt.
Was there like a serving table that was like brought in? How was the food served?
Elprekt was leading a couple of servants who all sort of had like trays that they wheeled in, and it was all laid out on a table, which was brought in just for the purposes of eating here, and set very quickly. Elprekt seemed to be the one who was overseeing all of that, although he was being handed, implements, utensils, and things like that from other wait staff, and yeah, it was all sort of set up spontaneously on the spot because the queen demanded it. So everything was like flown in at the last second, delivered, and then the servants whisked away the trays and everything like that to just leave the table and the food.
I think we need to get the rest of the wait staff in here too. And it seems one of them could have slipped it in when they were setting it up.
Suppose you're right. It really could have been anybody.
How fine is this powder? Sorry.
Which powder?
The lead.
Pretty fine. Very, very fine.
Are there any salt or pepper shakers on this table?
No. Glasha almost looks insulted if you ask about that. Why would she need any additional seasoning for my food? She likes it the way I make it.
Poisoned?
I was about to say poison.
I didn't put any poison in her food. Why would I do that? I've never. She eats my food all of the time. Why would I do it now?
We have what? Glasha. We have 3 people in here, right?
4.
4 people.
4? Okay, that's good enough.
There's one problem.
I'm gonna charm all 4 of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's why I've been playing music.
DC 17 charmed as you get your music going.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Let me make some D20 rolls real quick.
Gotta do that bard shit, right?
One way to handle the situation.
Elprekt. Zoyha has a modifier on there, but not high enough to beat 17. Glasha fails.
That's who I want.
Ohla fails.
Nice.
I think it's Ohla.
Yeah.
Charmed.
Oh.
Maybe Nimue poisoned her during the dance.
My plan.
Let me look up the charmed condition really quick, because I always get a little loose on what that actually translates to.
The one issue here is that both Cat and Saffine tasted the squall, but neither of you started choking.
Unless we didn't say that clear enough, and Anthony didn't. Would we have choked? If we tried it?
I mean,
Definitely.
you were all presented with food. Some of you ate it, some of you didn't, but none of the rest of you were poisoned.
Yep.
I thought the food was fantastic, Glasha.
Oh, thank you.
Perhaps
I
the food
always
is
give
red
it.
herring.
I always give it my all.
Was she drinking wine, maybe, during the evening?
You do recall that she called for wine. She had been kind of like coughing a little bit and called for wine just before she really started choking hard.
So
It's not clear if she was poisoned before or after getting the cup.
This is what I'm going for to give myself advantage on persuasion.
Where the hell is charmed? You are charmed. You can't attack your charmer. Your charmer has advantage on ability checks to interact with you. So okay. All right. Your music begins to play, and you can see everyone relaxes a little bit as the soothing song washes over them.
And I'm going to say, come now. I've seen some of you look away, not be able to look people in the eyes. Maybe you're fearful of something that you left out, or you're worried about your queen, and you're scared that there might be retribution. Why don't you just share what you're trying to hide so we can all come to an amicable conclusion of all this and figure out what exactly happened?
And all four of them begin talking at once.
Everybody, pick one, and just I'm gonna go with Glasha.
I'm focusing on Zoyha.
I'll grab Ohla.
You would, Kat. You would.
I guess.
What? Yeah, they just they basically, it all just comes out in like a tumult as they all seem like they just are cracking under the pressure. But since you asked about Glasha first, he goes, "Okay, I was adding lead to her food, but I did not poison her with this. What is this chokehold? I don't know what that is. It's just I thinking about family where I come from, working in the mines all these times, digging, and then she calls me here because she hears I am a good cook, and then she wants me to cook for her every night. I wanted her to get a taste of where I came from. That's why I put a little lead in her food, so she can taste it every time."
Confession?
Shit, I put lead in my... God damn it.
And Zoyha, since you also asked about her, she's like, "Okay, fine. I know there was lead. All right, I could see the lead with the poison spell, but I didn't say anything because I thought, fuck you after what you've done to my brother. Fuck you. And she like realizes what she said and shuts up.
No
and
judgment here.
Elprekt is going, for the chokehold. Because it said that if they get put a chokehold, I would get all of the queen's meal I could want, and then I would never have to want more of it. I'd always have everything I wanted. I'm sorry. I could go on without the meal. And Ohla says, I didn't do anything. I just sent here to watch. That's all. I was just sent here to keep eye on things. You know, I just the McGravis clan. They just want to know what's happening in the palace, and that's what I do. I do what they say, but I never do anything. I just watch."
All right.
Get all of that?
We've got all of the information we need. The last thing we need to determine is what's the connection with the dwarves.
What?
What?
Clearly, they must have been sourcing this lead from somewhere. If not dwarven miners, then who else?
No,
Maybe some of the musket balls shaved
you're not
down.
listening. It is my family that mines in Lymadnum, and many others. There are some dwarves too.
Come on, we don't believe a word you're saying. Prove it.
Cat, I don't know what to do with that.
Yes.
Okay, honestly, I don't want to get between him and his mystery.
She seems very baffled.
The point is, it was
You know,
the guy.
lying is a very serious moral offense. Me and my friends take it very personally. Who is your contact?
don't.
We're going to need to follow up on your claims.
My contact.
Well,
I don't
my
know.
question is,
You're being very confusing.
so one of you was commanded to put. I'm sorry, all the sobs and cries. It's been a while since I've had to listen to somebody talk while crying or screaming, and it was a little bit garbled. But
Blood coming out. I still can't.
it's fine. Hey now. The queen, she's not here right now. There's no immediate threat. We're just trying to figure out things.
Magic man, can you fix my nose?
Your moles.
My nose.
His
Your
nose.
nose.
No,
Yes.
I think he said moles.
No, his nose. Which has.
Maybe he really hates his moles.
I
My nose.
no, actually I can just give a temporary reprieve, but this is the one who would have to fix your nose and point to Ryland, since Saffine got rid of the cure.
Does it actually have cure wounds?
Just aid and other temporary hit points.
Please, I'm begging you. It
Ryland,
hurts.
if you don't mind.
I'll set it.
With a medicine check.
Set it with a fine. Give me a medicine check. Can I spend a spell slot to help this poor man in distress who's been beat bloody by Cat? Yeah, you carefully put your hands on either side of his nose, and then he goes, "Oh, that hurts so bad. But
Here, drink this and
I can
grab
talk
whatever
better now. Oh,
strong spirits.
wait, I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink anything. There's poison here. I'm not drinking.
Yes,
You won't get me with that.
Could you
You
say
probably put poison in.
Every time.
No, I don't.
say the chokehold was you? That's what I heard.
Yes, I did.
I
put
don't-
the chokehold in, but you heard it. They're poisoning everything around here. I don't even trust them.
Who is poisoning everything?
Well, that's what she put lead in food.
What?
Um,
Is
put the lead in the-
anybody getting?
yes. Don't worry, Cat. Maybe put down your flask.
I'm
We've been
not
seeing
even
you sneak-
drinking. I haven't drank.
We've
I
been
haven't
seeing-
done anything.
We see you sneaking drinks. We know.
Maybe my accent is.
I'm not.
This is not the time for the intervention, though. Don't worry.
I. Mhm.
No. These people have graciously been forthcoming, but they know that they would rather talk to us now than we have to animate their corpses and ask them then. So tedious. But we do seem to have a conundrum where many people were hoping for this to happen, whether they use something as benign, well, not benign, it's lead, but or as devastating as chokehold. And I forget where I was going with this because Nick has been too goddamn funny.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
your fault.
The one with the broken nose said he put the chokehold on the food. Yes.
Yes.
Then why?
Yeah, well, again,
I mean, look at how she runs the country.
that's true.
That's why.
No,
Why?
Before we get to that, I want to hear what he has to say.
They were making me an offer. I tried my best. I swear. I got out of Ustalavoy. I came here. I was serving noble families. I was doing good. I was doing so good. I didn't need it anymore, and I made it here. I made it all the way to the Shutov Palace. I made it all the way here about serving the Fey Queen herself. And I thought I was good. I thought I didn't need it anymore. But then they came and they let me have some. And then they offered me more. But only if I did this. And
It's okay. We understand addiction and how powerful a motivator it can be.
you've never had Queen's meal. You don't understand.
Queen's meal.
You don't know who I am. You don't know what I've had.
Oh, if you had had it, you would. Never mind. Don't know who you are.
That's not the point. The point is, who is they? Who is supplying you this?
Don't know. I don't know. They never let me see. They never showed their faces.
I will break your nose again,
Well,
boy.
I swear it. I
well,
swear. I
well.
don't know. I don't know.
We know, everybody, stop. Think about what a good position we are in right now. First, I'll take the napkin back. 2, there's what, 3 others in the room? Would you mind extending your hand? And I want to take some more napkins and take out a pin. And I want to prick all their fingers and dab some of their blood on different sections of the cloth. Believe
yeah,
me, you are in the best situation that you could possibly be in right now.
You're like demanding this of them. Put some blood on a napkin.
Yep, I've already taken the blood from the one guy's face because Cat helped with that. If you don't want to do the finger, Cat can help me the same way that she helped him.
I don't even know what you're doing. I'm not helping you. What is this?
Glasha's like,
and I raise the one back, or I collect teeth.
Glasha's like, fuck it, I'm already dead, and she's going to prick her finger. Allah's like, I've made such a terrible mistake. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I was innocent. Why did I say
You're
things?
still alive. You're still alive.
Fine. And she's going to prick her finger and give over a little blood to Saffine. Zoyha is like, I can't imagine any world in which giving you my blood is a good thing for me, so...
Pat, punch her in the face.
Oh, I don't even know what you're doing. Like, what are you
Maybe
doing?
explain.
I gave her an ultimatum. No, I need the blood.
For what?
I need the blood.
Am I going to regret it?
No.
Okay. And Cat's gonna punch him.
Pin prank one last time. Pin
Cat,
prick.
give me an attack roll. She's like, fuck you, come and take it. And a 19 will hit her. So yeah, you bash her in the face and some blood goes flying.
Excellent. Now that, one of the primary forces behind the raising of the Xantam Empire now has a sample of all your blood, so I know exactly where you are at all times. We can begin. Right now, the one who wants to punish you isn't here. They're off safe. That gives you time to help us out and go up the chain, so to say. This one, and what's his name? Oh, the crying one with the set nose.
Elprekt? Can you not see his name?
Elprekt.
Beneath his token there.
I have you guys. Yeah, there we go. You guys are my forefront on this laptop. Okay, Elprekt. So the way I see it is that you have been successful. You have poisoned the Fey Queen and you have removed her. Right now, in this room, the only people who know what's going on are us. There's ways to dig a little deeper, and you have, right now, the freedom to live. As if, and I look to the one who is freshly bleeding. You don't try to run away. And I begin folding up the blood samples and putting them into my pack.
From me, I don't understand.
Shut up, Elprekt.
You're going to bring
That's
us
fine.
contacts.
You are just the tool. We
Yes.
want to find the wielder.
Yes, you specifically, I want you to. I think we all want you to find the people who have been giving you the Queen's gift or whatever.
Queen's meal.
Yes, that's whatever.
Ones who gave you the chokehold said to use it.
Oh, that too. It was, I think, the same people. I'm not even honestly sure. I never saw faces.
Where do you meet them?
I meet them in a part of town. It's away from the palace, far away, near edge of town. I don't know. I never contacted them. They contacted me, sent me letters.
Right, and what were you told to do once this had come to fruition?
They told me that once the poison was delivered, I could. It was my duty to flee the castle and return to the meeting place, same alley, edge of town, and they would have all of the Queen's meal for me.
Oh, well, you know
Hmm.
what you have to do. It looks like you have to do just that.
Mhm. Just pretend like everything is according to plan.
But, oh.
And
So
you get to
you're,
have all the Queen's meal you could possibly want.
you're saying I can go? That is not what I expected.
I know.
Well,
Do you still have
I have your blood. I know where you'll go.
Okay.
That's,
No, I think a few of them need to be reminded.
that's
Well,
so
well, not
fucking
he-
terrifying. I don't know why you're so like this.
She's not dead. We cast Lester restoration.
Yeah, she's
on
not the. Wait, she's not
I-
dead?
No,
I mean,
We
I'm-
say
I'm
this
just
mentally.
speaking
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
character. I feel like,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel
We
like
have the mental connection to the Ryland.
I feel
okay.
like what happened is Ryland cast Lesser Restoration. She
Right.
was like not really conscious, but clearly still alive,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
like there was some aura change in her that suggested maybe the Fey Queen was getting involved more directly, and that's when we threw her through the portal. So I don't think
Right.
anyone's actually dead,
No, she's not.
I
It's
got the
I'm
impression that she.
and it would just be the
lost
face.
face.
It wouldn't be the Fey Queen that died.
Yeah.
Because if we start saying that, they're gonna. I mean, her other faces are probably running around the palace area still, right? I mean, there was a different one at the party, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, I feel like she's still here. She's not like gone.
Surely.
right. It's not me saying that she's dead. It's literally, do we let this ruse continue that the Fey Queen is dead, that the Fey Queen has been removed, and we find another body to pin the death of the poisoning on, allow them to go back to doing what they want to do. We keep tabs on them and go up the chain.
Well,
We did do that. What if it inspired the mini to make a bigger move?
That's fine, but also,
That would be awesome.
we also talked about letting the many take over stuff and then rule themselves, and her having the chance to prove just how important she is if everything goes shitty.
right.
So she
and-
might take this opportunity to watch things unfold because it would be entertaining.
We don't even know that it was the many. right? That's just the assumption.
don't.
I mean, I think we have to track this down a little more, find out who was bribing this guy to do the poisoning. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we can make a decision until we know what they were after. What was the point of this?
For now, what I think what we should do is let everyone assume that the Fey Queen is poisoned and or dead, and we follow Elprekt back to his meeting place with whoever's going to give him the Queen's meal, and
Jump
then
on.
we let Ohla go back to her handlers and tell them the Queen is dead, and just see what happens. And like we follow Elprekt and we find the people who actually went out of their way to poison her, because it's pretty obvious that everybody has a problem with the Fey Queen, but we don't know who actually wanted to poison her entirely.
Yeah, but we can't trust either of these people to tell our version of the events. They're gonna be honest with the people they're loyal to, right? If we say go tell them, that the Queen is dead and we got away with it completely, like bullshit. They're just gonna tell them everything that happened here tonight.
We should collapse a column in the court.
Besides that last thing, which may or may not have been through the telekinetic thing.
So,
did we actually say that the Fey Queen was still alive?
I mean, at some point, I suggested that we sent her to a safe place, her face to a safe place, which I think implies that like she's still okay. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's how you interpret that.
Either way, a body's not here, so they don't
True.
know whether or not she's okay, and she hasn't shown back up. So either way, something's happened. So they can't say it didn't work.
I think no body is the biggest reason they would assume it wasn't successful, right?
But she hasn't reappeared yet.
Which
As a
is
matter of
suspicious, right?
As a matter of fact, as you're discussing, you can hear a woman's voice hollering bloody murder, presumably yelling at some guards or something. And a few moments later, you see a woman enter the room.
Oh, well, shit, there goes that idea.
I'm back. Sorry that took so long. My nearest face was on the other side of the palace. I didn't even have time to get it ready or anything. Let's see. How are we doing? Who are these people? My killers, I presume. I did offer that to you before I left.
Yes.
no,
Welcome
These
back.
are not the killers.
Okay, right, killers. Yeah, they're all. So Elprekt is guilty of poisoning your food. Zoyha is guilty about keeping her mouth shut that your food was poisoned. Glasha was also guilty of poisoning your food, but with different poison. And Ohla's just a spy.
Oh, yes, but Zoyha...
I think I have that right.
But Zoyha only knew about the lead that Glasha was putting into your food. But it wasn't actually the poison, that was only this guy.
Oh,
this is going to be so much less fun.
the queen comes over and takes a look down the line. She goes, "Glasha, really? But your food is so good. I love eating it. I thought we had a thing. You cook and I eat it. You're poisoning me? This is so disappointing."
Now, before you end up removing these people from your presence, so to say, while you were indisposed, we were tracking them down and finding a way of releasing the rats to go back to the warren, so to say.
Yes, this is a good idea. I like this.
I
This
could put a command on this one that, well, I think they're weak frame if they didn't do exactly what I told them. I think the first time that they didn't follow directions, their brain would liquefy and run out their nose.
To be completely honest, my queen,
That-
you only really need to keep Elprekt and Ohla alive.
Oh, yes, Zoya and Glasha, they can die, but I'm going to miss the fucking food. Did you even try that squab?
It was very.
I did. It was fantastic.
But the point is that I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying because this is over the fucking line. I mean, poor Polya, she was my favorite. Normally when they get a little too fat, I send them off. They go back to Ice Palace. They spend some time there. They get a little skinny. They come back. But Polya, I could not do this thing to her. I like keeping her close. And now, speaking of which, where is Polya? Where is Polya? She starts looking around the room.
Polia is your other face, Your Majesty.
She was the one that I was wearing when you were entertaining me with your interesting foreign concepts.
You don't know?
We allowed her to experience these interesting foreign concepts as well, and she's making sure that she comes back in full health, so to say, after a reprieve.
I thought that was cool.
You saved her.
Okay.
Of course.
Her doctor recommended she seek warmer climes for recovery.
You were able to save her.
In a matter of speaking.
But
The
you
last
weren't
time we
able.
saw her, she
You
was
weren't-
not poisoned.
You cured her of the poison.
Yes, and sent her away for safety and recovery.
These I can only imagine it must have taken some time for you to come up with the cure, considering that you did not administer it when I was still wearing her. But never mind.
Our traveling companion, who is knowledgeable in the ways of curing these things, is friendly and has a good heart, but sometimes he's a little slow.
That's slow. It's fine. It's fine. She deserves a little R&R. But I will be expecting you to bring her back, wherever she went.
We can do that, right?
That can be discussed and arranged.
As for what to do with these four, you have discovered information about them. You say that they have all betrayed me in some way, and that this one over here, Elprekt, I am so disappointed. You are the one who poisoned me. And you're not even that good of a waiter. It's a shame.
The good thing about him, Your Majesty, is that he had instructions to go back to his dealers after he was done.
Oh, did he?
So
Did you,
perhaps
Elprekt?
we could go back and find their faces, so to speak.
Did you, Elprekt? That's what you did. You know, I was rather put off on the whole concept of, getting wrapped up in all of this revolutionary nonsense. Again, it just keeps coming back again and again. It just doesn't go away. You try to stomp it down, it comes back. But I am feeling suddenly very inspired to get to the bottom of this, and you are offering solutions. I like the sound of these solutions.
We should just let him go back. Wouldn't that be more fun to see what happens next?
Yeah. Let's let Elprekt go back.
Well, not just Elprekt, all of them.
Oh. An interesting notion to know that I have a betrayer even amongst the mortal hand. And even amongst my most favorite of cooks. And even amongst my maids. I see that you have been hiding a certain secret from me, Ohla. And she, flicks the tips of her ears. Should I perhaps pay Clan McGravis a visit? Ohla looks horrified, shaking her head. No, I don't think one little trip would do. No, I have a feeling that each of you has something that I want to know about and is involved in something seditious. So yes, I agree. Follow up on this incident. Elprekt, he seems to have something going on right here in the city, so it's convenient. But I would very much appreciate it if you could take a little trip to Velinstad and inquire amongst the mortal hand about how they could let their guard down in this fashion. And apparently there are unhappy sentiments in Lymadnum again. So perhaps it would be worth taking Glasha with you back there, And then there's Gravisgard. Elves have kept away, and I've kept away from them just as I promised, but apparently they were the one going back on their deal. So, I leave it in your hands. You seem to have a keen grip of this already.
To aid us in this purpose, would be a fine idea to appoint us officially as inquisitors, so that we have the authority to carry out this task in your name.
Done and done.
Cool, where's my badge?
You know what? Let me come up with something for you.
You rock.
Alignment shift.
Alignment shift.
She seems genuinely amused by Seven saying "you rock" to her, and
No.
she is going to, I don't know, go to the table, take some of the much discussed trays and utensils and cloches and all of that nonsense. She just takes one big platter, tips it on its side, upends all of the food onto the floor, and then you see her close her eyes, and taking the tray in both hands, holding it wide, she just sort of crushes it down into her palms, and she twists her hands together. And when she pulls them apart, you see that each of them holds a handful of little baubbles. They are bits of metal sculpted to look like hands, much like the one that Zoyha wears, except instead of an open palm, these are closed fists.
Badass.
Oh man!
And she offers one to each of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Seven
Cat.
puts that shit on.
Cat takes it and she's gonna wear that shit proudly.
This should be a part of our team name somehow.
Ron's gonna hide it somewhere underneath his cloak.
So our name should be the Fisters?
The Fisting Five.
Now on, yeah.
Fist five.
FF.
Let's workshop it. We'll table this for another time.
Well, I couldn't be happier with the way things have turned out ever since you turned up, you know? I got the chance to express some emotions that I haven't expressed in a very long time. Perhaps not even ever to anyone. And to you, complete strangers. Miraculous how things work out. And we have uncovered a series of laskas right here in my palace. And now that we have found them, now that they have gone and poked their little heads out, time to do some stamping.
And
So,
we can go right to the source.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we are going to be really
Now-
busy stomping weasels.
Just putting it out there, but I can make sure that this one goes back to their source and doesn't share anything they know of.
Oh, nah, do
Yeah, we
with
know.
them. Do with them as you see fit, of course. Whatever measures necessary. You are inquisitors of the Fey Queen now. You do what is required of your position. You honor
Is
that
everybody
path.
okay with if I do this?
With
And
putting a
Elprekt,
on an NPC.
if Elprekt doesn't listen to me, his brain will liquefy.
Honestly, I'd rather just punch him in the face again.
I mean, I can always reanimate his corpse.
Honestly, we don't really need him to do exactly as they say. He only needs
No,
to
no, no,
come back
no.
up.
I don't. No, what I'm saying is, he wouldn't share any knowledge that the Fey Queen, what happened right now. They would go back, they'd be themselves, but he couldn't share any knowledge of that we're in on it.
You realize Geist is like an evil NPC spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead and cast it.
You realize who Saffine is, right?
Do what you
I
want.
mean, it's meeting the goal, and at the same time, if it really matters, I can always resurrect them.
It's true. You can use their empty flesh after you murder them. Yeah.
I can also use a diamond and bring them back to life.
This is a good way. I like where this is going.
True.
I
You
like
you
where
can
this is
torment their
going.
soul indefinitely. Yeah.
No, I don't have that spell yet. Eventually.
One day he'll bring them back.
Either way, you've become an inquisitor to the Fey Queen. I feel like you're allowed to geist somebody now.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Well, thank you, Your Majesty.
Big fan. Big fan
Big
of
fan.
this.
Can't imagine. Yeah, yo. What have we gotten ourselves into? Oh, man. Okay.
So they have to resist it. They can resist a DC 17 Wisdom.
Yeah, he's gonna do his best. Elprekt is a very common sort of fellow.
Hey, can be.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So before I did this, just basically agreed that he will not say that we're onto him in any form whatsoever. He will just go back and report as is that they've been successful and not report anything about our involvement or the Fey Queen being healthy and hale. For fear of death. So what's going to happen is Saffine's going to be sitting there and take out that rag of blood. Just hold it and just be casting on it. And right beforehand is going to look them in the eye, lick the blood, and say, on punishment of death, you will share no knowledge about the Fey Queen being healthy and hale here. Nothing beyond that you were successful. Nothing connected that people are in the know about what you are connected to. If you do not follow this, you will die. Your brain will rupture, and you'll drop dead on the spot. That's why I needed your blood. And I looked to What's-Her-Face, who didn't want to give the blood.
Well, I feel justified in why I did not want to do that now.
Oh, no, you were completely justified. You just didn't have the choice.
Holy fucking shit, Sophie.
You're amazingly terrifying.
Seven's gonna cop a squat somewhere. He's gonna cast Farsight to summon his eye. Little invisible eye will hover right over Elprekt and You're gonna send him off. Send him off to go report.
Okay. All right.
Are we going to
And
go
the
follow
eye's
him?
just gonna follow him. Yeah.
The eye's gonna follow him. Okay. Are any of you following him?
Shouldn't we do we want to try and jump the people?
Oh, do you want to try
There's
and
watching.
capture them, or all right. So I guess I'll retract what I just did. My thought was we were trying to make him maintain this relationship to see what they
Yep.
try to get him to do next.
Yep.
Which it would seem jumping them now would kind of put a stop to that.
Just wait.
Maybe.
But
But-
I mean, if we want to try to just capture them and interrogate them, I guess we could try to do that too.
It just seems like after they're because he's an addict. It's a one and done kind of thing. It seems like after he's done his service, like they won't need him to poison them again. Seems like they
Maybe.
have
Or maybe they're going to use him to try to poison another face, right? I mean, we don't really know.
it's true.
Or he's going to be exalted within the group and get access to higher up information because he's been so successful.
But they got him because he's an addict. It doesn't really seem like he'd be exalted by the group.
It's
I
fine.
mean, I can have the eye follow them after the meet to see where they.
That sounds.
I mean, the plan was to figure out like where they're coming from, and then. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be useful, but we could try to jump in at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, let's tail him.
Tail 'em.
All right, so we're going to tail Elprekt to the meet, his report, and then we're going to tail whoever he reports to
Right.
with the eye. For an hour, we can tail. After that, the eye goes poof.
Okay.
I'm assuming Zoyha, Glasha, and Ohla are all gonna be just like held in like a prison cell until we come and get them.
I suggest.
Inquisitor, what do you want to do?
Yes, I suggest that you decide what to do with them. They are part of your Inquisition now. Subject to your decisions.
Ah.
I mean, they're not like members of your Inquisition. I mean, they are subject to whatever you want to do to them.
Yes, okay.
That part.
That makes more sense, Your Majesty. Yes, okay. What do you all think? I can't exactly just march them around in manacles the whole time, no?
Oh, actually, that sounds great. Let's do
You
that.
could do that. That's the beauty of it. You could do it. And you do it with my authority.
People can hear manacles from down
But-
the street.
We
And then they can also hear my armor. From
Well, Zoe was doing this because of something that happened to her brother. Glasha was doing it because she's just fucking bitter because her family was minors, and apparently that sucks. And I mean, only Olya, it seems like family ties, right? So, I mean, what would be the point of like letting them free? Like, what are we hoping to learn more about? Like,
Right. And
Ohla, maybe we could learn more about what, why her family is spying. But the other two, it seems like it was personal.
right, and we don't have control over what they say and who they talk to once they leave the room. Unlike the angry Liam O'Brien looking dude right there, Elprekt. And
Look,
yeah, so we don't want to show our hand by letting these ones out. At least keeping them here in a secluded part, maybe not the dungeon, but under lock and key for a bit.
Just so they can't talk.
Does have a little bit of a Liam O'Brien look, doesn't he?
He does.
But if we know where they are, we can go join them.
Liam
Yes,
O'Brien with a 5 head.
I hope you
Right.
said that over the telepathic bond.
Of course.
Okay. Well, even then, Kat still looks genuinely surprised.
You don't have to make any decisions about it right now. You can decide later. I'll keep them here.
Okay. I think we just do the thing with Elprekt.
Do the thing with Elprekt. Yes, I like this. You're going to stay here? You're going to hang out with me while you send your eye to go follow this man around who must do whatever you say until his brain melts out?
No. Not until His brain won't melt out if he follows directions. His
Oh.
brain will not melt out.
Ugh, well, I mean, okay, fine. Less fun that way, but
Well, I mean, if your brain is going to melt out no matter what, then why follow the directions in the first place?
fair point. Yes, incentive. You're right. Yeah. Let's get some. I don't know. Who can I even trust anymore? Get some guards in here. Bring in some comfortable furniture. We'll just hang out. We'll get maybe something to drink from a fresh, untapped, unsealed or sealed container, and we'll see where this Elprekt takes us. I do hope Polya's all right. And Elprekt, rather stiffly realizing it's his time to go, will just start walking out of the room, like almost walk running.
Can we clean up his face first so he doesn't show up all bloody, make it obvious that like something's out of order?
He's gonna show up. Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I can clean the blood off. I don't know if we can do anything about the bruises, but
Prestidigitation. I can.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'll
can
hit him with. Sorry. I can hit all the bruised and hurt people with a little temp HP.
So you can clean the blood up. He's still, I mean, his nose is still like busted looking. It's straight, but it's clearly horrendously bruised where it was broken. But he will start.
It's a little too obvious. Can anyone have a healing spell they can put on him to heal his nose?
I've been begging for this whole time.
Come here, Elprekt.
You're going to do this now? Now? All this, you couldn't do it before?
He's just sharpening a tool. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, what? Oh.
You're the tool. He's making you sharper.
I don't understand that.
Oh, whoops.
And Elprekt's dead.
Well, there goes that idea.
Elprekt, yeah, you clean up his face, and he looks much more normal now. He says, seriously, that hurt for a long time. You could just do that in the beginning. I'm going.
Get caught. And if you do get caught, don't confess.
I was trying not to get caught, and then that one, he made such lovely music. What was I supposed to do? Not say that I had poisoned the queen?
Your nose.
I know. I create earworms that once they're in your mind, they don't get out.
I don't like any of you. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to do the thing you said you wanted me to do. He's going to go marching away. Like he kind of walks stiffly out of the room, and then with the arcane eye, you can see that as soon as he gets out into the hallway, he starts sprinting. And he looks back over his shoulder a couple times, and he keeps sprinting. And he has to sprint for quite a while because it's a very big palace. But eventually, he makes his way outside of the walls and begins to make his way through the city. He looks back over his shoulder a couple times, doesn't see anyone following him, and starts to slow down a little bit. He was maybe pulling ahead of the eye a little for a while, but now, as he's slowed down, eye catches up easily. And he begins making his way through Rusalkgrad. Goes crunching through snow-covered streets, kind of hunkering past horses and carriages that go splashing along through the slush and create a mess everywhere. You can see that there's like a great big carriage, much like the one that you arrived in with Zurov, bearing some sort of noble sigils on the side that takes up almost the entire street, and he has to like jump out of the way of that as it goes crashing past. You see he's walking along through streets that are getting narrower and tighter and less grand, but even so, he's glancing up, and every once in a while, you can spot through a gap in the buildings a statue representing the Fey Queen gazing down. He shudders and keeps moving. And finally, after making his way out past all of the grand palaces and citadels and buildings of official office, past even the more humble houses and merchant stalls, past the stables, past the taverns and the coaching houses, he makes his way to the very edge of Rusalkgrad, into a burg on a rocky slope down by the river that you can just make out in this picture, kind of sneaking between the buildings. And there, it looks like an old part of town. Looks like a part of town older perhaps than anything else in Rusalkgrad, just tiny little ancient crumbling cottages and huts, thatched roofs, a village that was perhaps here long before any grand citadel stood in this place. And there he goes trudging down a dark, muddy alley. And he stands there in the dark and the cold, shivering. He didn't exactly have time to grab his cold weather gear before coming out here, so he's clutching himself as he squints down the alley both ways, stamps his feet. Seems like he's waiting and waiting, and the minutes are passing. Meanwhile, back in the palace, the Fey Queen's like, "What's happening now? What is he doing? Is he doing anything?"
He's still waiting to make contact with his contacts,
Boring.
Your Majesty.
We should, like, I don't know, improve public transit or something so people can get around to different places faster. That way we wouldn't have to wait so long for spies to reach their destinations. And
That is your reasoning?
Specifically respect.
and she's kind of like sitting there drinking and a little bit in a huff as she's waiting. But then eventually, finally, the arcane eye is like ticking along, and you're starting to get a little nervous, Seven, about how much time you have left. When you see Elprekt look up at something at the end of the alley, and he your arcane eye turns that way to see what he sees. There is a figure in silhouette, in shadow, some distant torchlight just illuminating their outline. Elprekt calls out, "I did what you asked! I did what you told me to!" The figure remains silent, but Elprekt nods as if he's heard something. Does Arcane Eye give you sound?
Yes.
It does.
Hold on. No. Visual information.
That's a shame. You can see him calling out to this figure, and you can't see the figure responding in any obvious way, but Elprekt seems to hear something and is continuing to talk. You know what? I'll give you an insight check to see if you can like read his lips and his gestures and stuff and try and get a gist of the conversation that's unfolding. Pretty good. Yeah, it's clear Elprekt is reporting on what has happened. The figure always remains at a distance as the conversation continues for about a minute. And his brain doesn't melt out of his nose, so presumably he hasn't broken his gaze on you, that you put on him, I should say. But you do see Elprekt seem to get a little agitated and then take a couple of quick steps forward down the alleyway, and suddenly there's a crossbow bolt springing up from his forehead, and he collapses back into the mud, and he's dead on the spot. The cloaked figure turns and leaves the alley. Do you follow
I was
it?
going to follow for as long as I can, yeah.
All right. The eye tries to catch up to the alley. Tries to catch up, scooting down the alley, catch up to this figure who disappears quite swiftly around the corner. Let's see. The eye is floating, fairly omniscient. Does it have like dark vision?
Yeah, 30 feet.
30 feet? Okay. And it moves at like 3-ish miles an hour. I think we figured like 3.5. We've done the calculation before.
Standard 30 feet around.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So somebody who's running would pretty quickly outpace it. I'd like you to give me a perception check.
Ooh.
All right. Very nice. The eye drifts up to a slightly higher elevation so it can look down on the streets. And even though this figure temporarily got out of view around the corner, you're able to reacquire him, snaking between old, leaning buildings, some of them tilting over as if they were about to tumble into the street. But he continues on for a while, sticking to the shadows. Keeps his hood pulled up, so you can never quite make out his face as you're floating above him. But eventually, it seems he's making his way towards the outer wall. In fact, it looks like he steps into a stable. You follow him in with the eye, or you just kind of wait there?
So
All right.
follow him as long as I can.
All right, keep following him. The eye slips down through a gap in a couple of boards on the wall and reacquires, well, not entirely sure where he went, but you do see a startled-looking stable hand gazing off down a hallway, and the eye follows in that direction until makes his way into an actual stall, or a row of stalls. You can see that one of the stall doors is open, and even as the eye is drifting towards it to peer inside, man and rider come bursting out straight towards the eye. In fact, they rush right through where it floats. It's quick. It's hard to make out details, but you can tell one thing. The horse that this man is riding is nothing but a skeleton. The horse continues on through an open barn door You follow as best you can, but it is quickly outpacing you. It makes its way towards the gates of the city. And the last thing you can see as it is drifting further and further out of view is that the horse is taking the road south. You can see a road sign there pointing in that direction. It reads, Ustalavoy.
Awesome. Well, that's a lot of fun. I just relayed what I was seeing word for word the whole time, so everybody knows.
A skeleton. That
Skeleton
cat
horse.
just turns to look at Saffine.
Right.
No. Bet it wasn't Dima.
Honestly, it may have been Dima. There are many Dimas buried all around
Well.
this fucking land, okay?
Step one, I do need that body. But as far as I know, myself and, well, Cat by proxy are the only ones here with connections to the Phantom Empire. And that's only because you're a mercenary and have none of the magical skills that would be necessary for such resurrection of an animal, so I'm not quite sure what to make of that. And necromancy doesn't mean that it's automatically part of the Phantom Empire. But we can find out a lot more if we get Elprekt's body back.
Maybe. It sounded like he didn't know much about his contacts.
It would please me if we could get his body back.
Oh, you're an
That's-
inquisitor. I'm not sure there's a outside of the Fey Queen herself. I'm not sure there's anyone here who can stop you from getting that body.
True.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, you want the body? Have the body. It's fine. Take the body. You're going to make a zombie out of it? It's fine.
No. I'm not going to make a zombie out of it. Don't worry.
Well, hopefully you can get something from Elprekt. He can still be useful. However, even if you don't, it seems like if we want to continue this investigation, we at least have a destination in mind. I'd suggest that we plan to move quickly. We might still be able to follow the horse's trail if we get there before the next snow.
Since this is the only lead we have, we probably should, right? Or we'll lose it.
Moving south, huh?
Yeah.
You should absolutely follow up on this lead, but don't forget about these others here. I certainly won't. I'm going to keep a close eye on them, and when you feel that it might be necessary to see what other issues these miscreants have been getting up to, well, they will be here. For now, follow the trail.
Should we bring Zoyha with us?
You know, I was thinking perhaps we could have one of those large caravans with maybe a small quantity of horsemen or guards, and they could keep an eye on them when we are following up on these leads.
Yes, and that sounds like a very good plan. Go for it. If you request it, you have my authority now. Just show them your badge, and my guards will make it happen.
In this way, and she kind of thinks about what she's saying for a moment, and telepathically, or she says, "This way we have some eyes, not on us. From up above, we'll have other eyes on us, but."
Sure. As long as we can do it quick, I like it.
Can we swing by and get that body?
The alleyway isn't that far from the road that he took south, so sure, you can
Fantastic.
head in that direction, collect Elprekt. By the time you arrive, it seems he's already been stripped of anything valuable, and yeah, you can pick him up off the street.
So are we with, did the other ones come with us too? So we're keeping an eye on them?
Yeah, if you want like a little prison caravan, like they, wheel the paddy wagon around and dump all of them in there, and then it's going to follow you wherever you go. Sure thing.
Yeah.
There's just a few guards and drivers to man it.
Very secret police. I like it. We're basically the NKVD.
All right.
So,
and as you head south out of the city, you see the trail. You follow the trail. You wait, where's my big world map? There you are. That's very distracting with that grid on it. You leave behind Rusalkgrad and begin following the road south. There's only one major city south of Rusalkgrad, at least inside the Sarstvo. And so, long before you arrive there, it does seem that your destination is a foregone conclusion. But still, it takes a couple of days on the road. Can I not? There we go. Takes a couple of days. There are a couple of branches in the... Yeah?
yeah, before we start doing a couple of days, did that message get through?
Yeah, it did, and yes.
Then on the first night, I would put his dead body in front of all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Lean forward, take out the arrow, and look at everybody and say, if I was a patron, I'd be a little bit different with those under me. You seem to have a lot of assumptions. But this one did exactly what I asked for. And he should be rewarded. And he will be rewarded. And I'm going to cast Raise Dead on Elprekt.
All right. And the others observe this ritual, which does take an hour to cast, so...
Yep.
There's some work involved on Saffine's part.
What you see is a lot of preparation, some sigils around the body, but a lot of quiet, knelt down whispering into the ear of Elprekt's corpse. If anybody wants to try to hear what I say, that's fine. But yeah, there's a lot of quiet talk and quiet, mournful music being played. With the diamond on his chest. And that's what the process looks like.
And when the time comes for him to return to life, what is that like? Because I don't think any of us have seen Saffine work this magic before.
You're going to start seeing the diamond disappear within Elprekt's corpse. Once the diamond's fully in, you're going to see the hole in the forehead begin to crystal over. And then after the crystal closes, the diamond, you're going to start seeing the muscle and the bone begin to knit back itself. And there's going to be kind of a sickly green aura rolling off of Saffine and Elprekt's corpse as they finally kind of just do that movie-esque gasp back to life. And I would guess that Elprekt is probably extremely weak coming back with that -4 penalty. So to say how that would reflect that very weak body. But when I do see some recognition in the eyes, I would just say, you did well, and you've come back to us. And if you are able to face the people that you knew would probably eliminate you, I'm sure that you can face a lot of inner demons. Take this time to rest, relax, and realize that what you've relied on for strength, you don't need that. If you feel any withdrawal symptoms over the next few days, reach out. You've done well. Now sleep.
Elprekt is almost too weak even to talk in this state, but he does look up at Saffine with a sort of equal parts wonder and fear in his eyes as he's trying to grasp everything that's happened to him. And he does indeed need rest. He can't even emerge from the coach on the first day. Doing a little better by the second, starting to recover. And it is by the evening of the third day that you finally ride the trail to your destination. Of course, the hooves of the skeletal horse left a trail when you first started, which made your course clear. And even though you eventually lose the trail over, a couple days on the road, begins to get intermingled with other tracks and the like. Like I said, there's only one clear destination headed this way. And you arrive in the nighttime. The snow has not seemed to touch these lands quite yet. They're still clinging to... Well, it's a little odd. You might think that they're clinging to the last colors of autumn, but actually, as you approach, you realize that even in the light of the moon, you can see the lands are a verdant green, as if it was the height of summer. And in fact, if you open a coach window, you realize the air is warmer here. Although there's a cool and pleasant breeze that blows a fog down off of the mountains. You can see the moon glinting off of a great lake, which nestles amongst the hills of the Prituluk Range. And there, beside the lake, a city. It's compact, not particularly spread out, but composed of rising towers which reach towards the mountain tops in strange and twisting patterns. Not straight-sided towers, not even the onion domes that you saw at the Shultulka Palace, but more fantastical shapes. As you arrive in the city of Ustalavoy.
Wow.
That's
It's different.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like it here.
And as you take in the moonlit skyline of this strange city, and is where we will have to leave things for the week.